Hello everyone, my name's Bob. Welcome back to Modern Life for the 70s Mind and Bob's Cabinet of Curiosities. As you know, I usually go over some type of older thing that's usually music related, and I am not letting you down today because we're going to go over something else that's got to do with music, or at least audio, an audio format. I've gone over this in a previous video, but it was when I combined my reaction videos with the Curiosities videos, and sometimes people just want to see this segment. So instead of trying to cut it up, I just thought I would re-record this piece and show it to you on its own. And maybe I can go into slightly more detail. All right, so most of you know are well familiar with these. This is just a standard 12-inch record. It's the vinyl that if you were to buy today, that would be basically what you get. Back in 1930, they came out with what's called a transcription disc, and these transcription discs went for about 30 years, and I think they were good through like 1960. So let me show you that. This is a 16-inch transcription disc. Today's vinyls are 12 inches. These are 16 inches. They're massive. Really fun to have and to check out. They were normally used for radio broadcasts. Now they played at the normal speed as a record today. They played at 33 and a third, and they were roughly 15 minutes per side. Now the interesting part of that is later they came out with what was called microgroove technology, and that was with the normal 12-inch records at all. And because of that, they were able to stretch that to roughly 30 minutes a side, so they were able to get quite a bit. You would think something this size, you would get a lot. They were played usually during World War II on the Armed Forces radio to broadcast to the troops overseas. What they would do, they would record sessions, either private sessions or say they recorded some night at a club or something, and they recorded it. And what they would do, they would transfer them onto these discs or records, and then they would ship them overseas so that the people overseas could listen to what was going on. They were actually really nice, and I'm sure the troops really appreciated it. Now, these were considered government property, and they were ordered to be destroyed after their useful purpose. Most of them were, but then there were some that were saved by for souvenirs. There were dumpster divers that went in and grabbed a bunch of these. There were scavengers, collectors, all that stuff. Now, what's really nice, and we should be thankful for those people, because the reason why you can go on Amazon or eBay and buy these CD collections of 40s radio broadcasts, because people got those broadcasts from these discs. If it wasn't for these discs, the vast majority of those old-time radio shows, those old live performances, like this one's Bing Crosby, a lot of those performances would be gone forever. So the fact that people went out of their way to save these and salvage them, I guess, salvage them is a good thing, because they're responsible for having these things around today. Now, one of the really interesting aspects of these records is some of them, not all of them, but some of them are labeled outside start, and then you flip it over and it would say inside start. There was a reason for that. As you start a record, the needle is on the outside, so it's moving very fast because it's got to cover this much space in one rotation, where when it's on the inside, it's only got to cover this much space. So what happens is the audio quality of the record, and this is true for records today, the audio quality of a record on the outside is better than the audio quality on the inside, only because it's moving faster. So you're getting the same amount of recording in a larger space. So what would happen is, if they would, this disc with two sides, they would play one side, and the second half of the show or the concert, whatever it was, would be on side B, so they'd flip it over. So if you were playing one disc from the outside in, you got to the inside, then flipped it over and put it back to the outside, there would be a significant, at least back in these days, there would be a significant at least enough for the human ear to pick up, difference in the quality from the time they lift the needle up on the inside to setting it back down on the outside. To eliminate that, once the record finished on the inside, you would flip it over, you would start the second side on the inside. That way you're starting out kind of apples and apples, and then it would work its way out. It's kind of a unique way to address that issue, and I always thought those were interesting. Again, this is it's labeled Armed Forces Radio Services, and this is Bing Crosby, and it's disc number 112. I'd like to find, if I could, a whole listing of all the Armed Forces transcription discs that were put out, but I've yet to find that. So anyways, these were really interesting. They're huge. If you like to fill up some big spaces on your wall with something that's kind of a conversation piece, get one of these big things that I'm sure people will turn their head and say, what the heck is that big record? So anyways, those are interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to keep coming out with stuff like this, not only music related, but there are other things I want to show you that I'm pretty excited about. So stay tuned. So if you like my channel, I would really appreciate you clicking the like button below. And if you could subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. It's been a long day. All right, guys, you have a great day. Peace out. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.